So looks like going live. Not yet. Okay, it looks like we are actually live. So we're gonna get started right away. I didn't expect it to go live quite that quickly. So what we're going to be doing today, every couple months, I like to take a week off from weightlifting and focus on stretching and flexibility. So taking that week to really work on flexibility. So what I'm going to be showing you today is the stretches I've done myself and I've shown to my clients to improve flexibility. So we're going to start by stretching the hamstrings. I find a lot of people have tight hamstrings. So for this, we're going to do a kneeling hamstring stretch. What you're going to do is we're going to be stretching this front leg. You're going to put your leg out straight as you can. If it's a slight bend in your knee, that's okay, but the straighter it is, the more intense the stretch is going to be. From here, you're going to bring your chest forward. And now I don't want to round forward. I want to just try and lean straight forward, feeling that stretch in the back of my thigh on this front leg. You can put your hands on your knee to help hold it straight and give yourself a little bit of balance. We're going to hold that stretch for at least 20 seconds, but I like to hold for a full 30 seconds to really let that muscle relax into that stretch position. So I'm just bringing my chest forward till I feel a stretch in the back of the thigh and holding that position. Now, this is called static stretching. Static stretching is where you move to where you feel that stretch and then hold that position. It is a really effective tool for gaining flexibility. There's other types of stretching, ballistic stretching, dynamic stretching, and things like PNF stretching. They're all different forms of flexibility gaining exercises. Some of them are better as warm-up exercises or in different situations. Now, I personally think that I like static stretching the best. It's also been shown to benefit flexibility just as effectively as the other styles, and it's a little simpler, a little easier to do. So now same thing on the other side, kneeling in that position, bringing the chest forward, feeling a stretch in the back of the front leg. So the back of your thigh right in here. Trying to keep your back straight, leaning towards the front. Feeling that hamstring stretch. Now it might be tighter on one side than the other. That's normal. We're not quite symmetrical. It might be the muscles a little shorter on one side than the other. Just go to where you feel a stretch feeling, where you feel that tension, but no pain in the muscle. Should not be painful to stretch. And we're holding this somewhere around 30 seconds. So you don't want to just go to where you feel that stretch and then let go of the stretch. You want to try and hold that position because it gets that nerve, all the sensors in your muscle, those nerves in your muscle used to that sensation, used to that length, because we're trying to adjust that muscle length. And relax. Now we're going to stretch, still in a kneeling position, we're going to stretch the back leg. This is a hip flexor stretch. So from here, you're going to step forward with your front leg and then bring your hips forward, trying to keep your back straight again. I'm really trying to push my hips forward from here till I feel a stretch in the front of my back hip. This is sometimes called a runner's stretch. So you're pushing forward with your hips, feeling that stretch right here across the front of your hip. This is a deep muscle. It's that iliopsoas muscle deep in here. It actually attaches all the way to your spine as well. So it can affect your posture if this tightens up. It actually pulls your hips into your spine. and actually can compress the spine back here so it can cause low back pain. So this is a great stretch to do, especially if you do a lot of computer work, a lot of desk work. These muscles can get very tight. And same thing on the other side. 1 foot forward, 1 foot back, pushing your hips forward, feeling a stretch across the front of your hips. Now you want to go to where there's tension but no pain. So none of these should be painful. You might feel a pulling feeling, but it should not be burning, it shouldn't be stinging like a pain, any sort of pain in the muscle or joint. Just go to where you can hold it comfortably under a little bit of tension. We're focusing primarily on stretching the lower body today. We're focusing on the legs, hips, and knees. So this is primarily front of the hip. And now we're going to do a side lunge stretch. So for this, there's 2 ways of doing it. The first one is you're standing on your foot and you're going out to the side, feeling a stretch on the inner part of your thigh. Now, if that's hard for you to hold this position, you can do this kneeling as well, and that's totally fine. Just make sure you're sitting back towards your heel so you feel that stretch here on the inner part of your thigh. So going here, sitting into that stretch. It's a side lunge stretch. It's great for those adductors of the hip, these muscles that go all the way from the inner part of your hip down to your knee. So all along this area. I like this version of the stretch a lot more because I find that I get a lot more of what's called adductor magnus. There's this one part of the hip that I feel like I can really get a better stretch in because I'm pulling out to the side like this. As opposed to doing splits, I find that it's a little harder to get deep into that adduction. Adductors are the muscles that pull in towards the middle, so we're stretching them by pulling them out towards the side. We always go the opposite direction to stretch that muscle. And same thing on the other side, toe pointed up, sitting down into that stretch. Now, if you can't hold this position standing on your foot, you can always kneel down. That's totally fine. I find that it's a little easier to stretch this position though, with my foot on the ground. I find I can get a more intense stretch. If you want to, you can also use your hands for balance if it's a little hard on your leg. Now, if this is too intense for you, you can do this one in a more standing position as well, where you're up here like this instead of down way low. So the lower you are, the more intense that stretch is going to be. Now it's important on this that we don't bounce either. You want to hold a steady stretch. You don't want to be bouncing up and down. That's called ballistic stretching, and it can actually lead to a little bit of tearing in the muscle if we're bouncing at the end or under a stretch position. That's also known as end range when we're in that stretch position. So no bouncing on this, so you do not want to tear that muscle. Now, I liked that one for these muscles in here. Now we're gonna go deep into those hips. So you're gonna bring your feet out to the sides in a V position. This is a V sit stretch. From here, you're gonna reach out towards the front till you feel that stretch on the inner part of your thigh. Now, if you need to, you can push yourself forward till you feel that stretch deep in here, and then hold that position. I find this gets deeper into that hip. So right at your sort of a groin stretch. Reaching out towards the front, holding for 30 seconds. Now this next stretch, I find most people miss. So they tend to stretch these adductors and they never stretch the abductors, the opposite muscle to this. So we'll go over that next in just a second. Trying to hold a continuous stretch to improve that flexibility. Like this too, because it keeps that flexibility in the joints. And I feel like even though it's not really stressful on my body, it still keeps me active and where I don't get stiff. So this is going to be a gluteus medius stretch, these abducting muscles on right where your pocket is on the side of your hip. So from here, you're gonna lay on your back, bring your knee up, and then you're gonna, if you've got your right knee up, you're gonna grab with your left hand and pull to your left side. So you're stretching right across here in your hip. So I'm using my opposite hand to grab and pull towards the opposite side. You should feel that stretch here in the side of your hip. And holding that stretch. I find this one a lot of people miss. They stretch the inside of their thigh, they never stretch these hip muscles on the outside. So they sometimes have sciatic pain, or because that muscle runs over the top of the nerves, where there's a false sciatic, where it's not really a sciatic pinch at the spine, it's a sciatic pinch down below in the leg. So same thing other side, bring the leg up, grabbing with the opposite arm, pulling over and across your body, trying to bring that leg down towards the ground. You should feel that stretch in your hip by pulling down on the knee. And relax. All right, so now we're gonna do a stretch for the quads. You're gonna go back to that runner's stretch position, but now you're gonna reach around, grab your ankle, and then gently pull up to the back. This is stretching the muscles on the front of the thigh down into the knee. If you need to, you can put a pillow or a towel underneath your knee, or some sort of pad. If that hurts your knee, you can always kneel down on a pad, sort of like this, and then pull up to give yourself a little more padding at the knee. It's totally fine. So you should feel this all the way through the front of your thigh into the kneecap. This is a kneeling quad stretch. Now, if you're just joining us, we're holding all these stretches for at least 20 seconds, but I'd recommend closer to 30 to let that muscle relax into that position and acclimate to that level of tension. So we're working on flexibility for the legs. I like to take a week off every couple months to work on flexibility, and that gives my body a time to recover from all the weightlifting. I find that the stretching is less intense, so it gives my body time to actually heal from all that, but it still maintains that flexibility, maintains where I don't get stiff for that week. And same thing on the other side. I'm gonna shift the pad just a little bit. So kneeling, grabbing the ankle, pulling up to the back, feeling a stretch in the quads. Quads run right across the front of the thigh, pulling up to the back. Now, if you can't quite reach your ankle, you can grab your foot as well. Totally fine. Just breathe normally. Might be tighter on one side than the other. That's totally fine. Just go to where you feel tension but no pain. And relax. All right, so that was our stretching for the lower body. Hopefully that helped and you can feel a little bit looser, a little more relaxed. So if you like these live streams and want to see more, I host them on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 11 a.m. Pacific time. Hope to see you guys there.